Good morning. Another freezing cold morning. It's about 32 degrees again, I would say. But let's see, the other four guys I was hiking around yesterday all passed through. They hiked up a couple more miles, so I may see them camped this morning as I pass by. Thought I was going to be alone, and then about sunset, SideQuest showed up. She camped in the same area, so she'll be hiking out just a little bit behind me. We'll all end up at Mormon Lake together at some point. I figure it'll be about the same operation as what we did at Roosevelt. We bounce in there around noon, hang out for a couple hours, get our resupply done, just snack up on foods and stuff, and then hike out a few more miles and camp somewhere back on trail. Also this morning I saw a turkey hanging out at the pond. I was trying to get him on film, but as soon as he saw me, he ran away pretty quick. First turkey out here I think I've seen. Another little pond up there. I think we're going to have plenty of water today. There's a pond source like every couple of miles. I just saw two more elk. I think they disappeared in the woods though. There's another one right there. A total of 4 in this group that I've seen so far. They camouflage really well in with the trees, despite the trees being really spaced out some. There's another one of this group. They're not being super skittish. They're still kind of hanging around right here. I just remembered something funny since I had cell service where I was camped. I was double checking the Facebook group for the Arizona Trail for this year. And what was it, the day before yesterday, where we had the high winds? There was no storm activity where I was at, but like everything north of here, north of Flagstaff, up through the Grand Canyon, they all got snow. So the Grand Canyon's still getting snowed on. I think that's pretty funny. There's another herd of elk right in front of me. About 100 feet ahead is the end of the tree line, and there's a field. You can see at least a dozen. Yeah, they're looking at me. They're gonna go bolt in here in a little bit. Yeah, this is a big group of elk. As soon as we get to this field, there they go. More than a dozen. Little info kiosk here about Allen Lake Landing. End of the line for a railroad network for hauling lumber out. I haven't seen one of these little "You Are Here" signs in a while. That's kind of cool. Crossing Highway 3. This pathway looks like it used to be part of the old logging railway. Well, we've gone 3 hours for the day. It's time for a sit-down break. Just turned 9 o'clock. We've got 9 miles. We got about 2.5 miles left till we hit a junction where we take this side trail. We can skip down a whole mile back to Mormon Lake. So that's what's coming up. Not too much hiking left until we can get some food. But we'll sit down and have a good second breakfast here and then back on trail after a little bit. Done with second breakfast. Shouldn't be more than an hour and a half or so before we get to Mormon Lake. And it's cold again today. Feels like the ambient temperature is only 55 or so with a cold wind chill blowing. think I've seen at least 30 elk today already. That one huge herd, sometimes I see them just in little groups of 2 or 3, probably 5 separate times total. Sometimes you see them just like 1,000 feet away, as far as you can see through the trees. You can't get them on film. It's been a good day for elk sightings. Here's our junction. Navajo Spring Trail, Mormon Lake Lodge, 1.1 miles. It's all downhill down this little valley. Well, I guess we made it to Mormon Lake. Everything's closed except for a general store. We'll see what we can find. There's the restaurant and lodge, and the country store. Better be open. Well, I got some shopping done just out front of the store here. You've got little garbage things so you can get rid of your stuff there. This is what I'm going for third breakfast. Coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese burrito thing, and some fruit juice stuff there. And I already did my resupply shopping. I got some noodle dinners and some like pastries for breakfast and a couple of bars. I may get a couple of things. The resupply on the inside is kind of basic, but it's got enough to get you. It's just 2 days to Flagstaff. Well, I think I've had enough of this place. This has been a pretty bad disappointment. There's nothing. There's no bathrooms. There's nothing to eat. A little general store with some snacks, and that's about it. So I'm getting bored. I'm getting antsy. It's around 1 o'clock, I think. I don't think I'm going to do much more than like... Once I do the mile side trail back up to the AZT, I think about 4 miles or so down the trail is a fee pay campsite. I think I may just end the day there. That's plenty of miles I need to make. We'll see. We'll see where I end up. But anyway, I'll see you back on trail. We'll back up to the Arizona Trail. Next stop is going to be the Double Springs campground. We'll hit that place and then just reassess if we're staying the night there or pushing on a couple more miles. This definitely puts us ahead of schedule because I was planning on staying the night down at Mormon Lake. So I don't need to go too crazy with any more miles today. So we'll just see when we get to the campground. Good shooting. I think they got him. Well, I made it down to the Double Springs campground. I think I'm just gonna stay here tonight. Just checked in over there is the camp host. Normally the guides say this is a pay site, but he said just go ahead and pick a spot and set up and clean up after yourself and you're good to go. So I don't have to pay anything, so that's cool. There's restrooms and stuff scattered about. There's a little flowing stream just right behind, which is why I picked this little site. So we're good to go on water and everything else I need. I don't think there's anybody here. No RVs, no trailers, other than the host, and no other campers. It's kind of early, it's just after 3 o'clock. But I think this will work for me, so I'll just set up a tent and take care of the usual. And here we go, I'm all settled in. I'm all prepared for another cold night, most likely, down into the 30s. Hopefully not at freezing or below, but we'll see. And so far I'm the only one here. I don't know if anybody else is going to hike out and join me in this area or just go past. Most people shy away from pay sites, but apparently this one's free, I guess. We'll see. Anyway, I'll cook up dinner in a little bit, get working on videos in the meantime, and 2 days from here we'll be hitting Flagstaff, so that'll be a major milestone, and we'll take a couple of zeros there, I think. So follow along for that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the morning. Good morning. I was not alone last night, as you saw a couple of tents there around me. A couple of hikers came in, some I'd never seen before, some I had, as well as an elk came in a little bit later and had dinner with us. So it was kind of cool. Good company last night. One of the guys I'm around, Gourmet, he's doing the 24-24-24 challenge. And if you don't know what that is, you hike 24 miles in 24 hours and you drink 24 beers. So he hasn't started hiking yet, but he had some beers last night, so his clock is ticking. And he'll probably pass me up at some point. I don't know if I'm doing 24 miles today, but we'll kind of see how it goes. Looks like rocky ups and downs for the first half of the day, and then it kind of flattens back out, back to straight flat, and cattle ponds for water sources. So I loaded up at the good stream we were camped at, and we'll just kick this day off. A group of 3 elk just crossed in front of me up that way. Man, I'm seeing them like crazy. Just like New Mexico. I was just thinking about Gourmet and his 24 beers challenge. If you guys don't know, hikers invent all kinds of challenges. There's the normal 24-hour challenge where you just hike for 24 hours and see how far you get. There's all kind of food challenges too. Like if there's 4 days between a town stop and the town you're starting in has a McDonald's, you do the McDonald's challenge. You just load up on nothing but McDonald's food. You get like 100 chicken nuggets and 10 fish fillet sandwiches and whatever else you might need. Trail's rocky today. It was for most of yesterday as well. Well, I think we're just about through the bulk of the rolling ups and downs for the morning, but even still they've been extremely mild. So I think the trail starts to flatten way back out now. Been walking alongside old railroad tracks and a little info kiosk here about the Flagstaff Lumber Company, operated in the 20s. Still following these train tracks. I was just thinking about all the infrastructure that had to be built before they could even haul away the first tree. Somebody had to pile up all these rocks and you got to lay all the track. That's a lot of manpower. I just noticed a little snow-capped mountaintop peeking above the tree tops there. That's got to be Humphreys Peak. Backdrop for Flagstaff. First time I've seen it in like, I don't know, 100-something miles. This line of rocks is still where the train tracks were at. There's trees growing up right through the middle. That's how long the place has been in disuse. Forest fire came through here. Maybe it's because like the forest is so thin already that the fire really doesn't get that intense or that bad, because all these trees survived it. They're a little crispy, but they all survived the fire. There's a better view of the mountain. Well, I just passed a side trail to get down to the Pine Grove campground, down that way somewhere, but it's like a mile off trail. Most people probably don't go down there. And we're about 3 hours in for the day, so I think it's time to stop and take in second breakfast. We're still in some forest fire damage area. These trees look a little more charred, but still living potentially. Anyway, we'll stop here for a good break. Done with our break, back on trail. It is cold when you're just sitting there. High in the 50s. Lows near freezing. I don't know when it's going to warm up. But, let's see, 5 miles from here is our first water source for the day. Some kind of pond. And then I think we only got one more water source after that. And that's it for water for today. Crossing Highway 3 again. Well, the dirt road we've been following is now getting rockier and rockier. I believe that's a fire billowing not too far straight ahead of me. Definitely keeping an eye on that. Made it to Horse Lake Tank. First water source for the day. Beautiful view. I think it's around 11 o'clock. I'm going to stop here and have like a lunch snack. Lots of cool waterfowl over there. We got Humphreys Peak, and we got a fire burning. I don't know if that's controlled or uncontrolled yet. We'll stay safe no matter what, and definitely still keeping an eye on it. Done with my lunch break, I'm moving on. I've been watching that for the last hour. It's still burning, but it hasn't been getting any worse. I'm going to keep going. The problem is, the trail continues exactly in that direction, so we're only going to be walking closer to it. I'm hoping that I can get on the other side of it. 6 miles from here is the next water source, and that's going to be the last water source until we hit Flagstaff, which will be tomorrow. And I may only be looking at doing a couple miles past that, so maybe 8 more miles from this current position. And hopefully we can get around that safely enough. There's no notices about it in the Facebook groups, no trail closure advisories, no nothing. It's supposed to be a controlled burn. We'll just hope it stays controlled. The trail's still marching straight towards the fire. I'm curious to see how close we actually get. We're at the Junction, a little side trail there. We'll take it down to the Lakeview campground. That's right on the shores of Lake Mary, which we can't really see. But there should be a really cool, like, canyon lake down there that I don't think we're going to have a view of. We're still moving. That says 243 to Utah. Still heading in the direction of the forest fire. That totally looks like a pronghorn. I didn't know pronghorns would be up in this area. Usually they run away. And they make this weird nasally cough sound at. Yeah, that's definitely a pronghorn. That's so cool. He's more inquisitive than anything else. The trails come out to a nice overlook. There's Lake Mary down there. This was kind of that lake canyon I was talking about. And there's where the fire is. The fact that it's getting windy isn't helping, but at least I can see exactly how far away it is now. Just might get smoked out as I continue a few more miles up in this general direction. I believe that thing is part of a telescope array system that's out here. Some kind of joint project between the Lowell Observatory and the Naval Observatory for some kind of deep space telescope thingy. But there's a whole bunch of these little things in this area. We'll see if we can get a closer look of another one if we see them from the trail. Made it to Prime Lake. Looks like it's slowly drying up. This is the last water source till town. Something like more than 10 miles but less than 15. Dry camping tonight. Then I'm going a few more miles past here. And the trick is going to be to collect water without getting my feet wet. So I'll see you when we're back on trail. Well, I did what I could. I'm getting out of here. I'm pretty muddy. Almost impossible to collect without getting wet. But we'll go back to the trail and maybe in just another mile or two, and then we'll be looking for camp. This is the Marshall Lake Trailhead. A lot of car camping spots dispersed out in the trees here. I think I may only end up doing about another mile from here. Well, I think this is going to do for a nice little campsite. We're directly off trail. It's just right there. Get settled in the rest of the way. So I think we're good to go for the day. Knocked out 21 miles, which reminds me that Gourmet was doing the 24-24-24 challenge, so at some point he's got to hike past me if he needs to complete the challenge. I'll report back in the morning upon his condition and if he made it or not. But anyway, we are about 11 miles, I think, from where the hotel sits that I got booked in Flagstaff. That's kind of a sucky situation because it's I'm getting into town on a weekend, which all the hotels and stuff are more expensive anyway, but it's a college town is Flagstaff, and it's college graduation weekend. So I wanted to double zero anyway, so it's just one of those inopportune moments. So I already shelled out over $800 for 3 nights in Flagstaff, and everything else in town is totally booked out. So some 4 or 5 days ago, whenever I looked at reservations, there's only one thing available. But it's right on the urban route trail. So coming up 7 miles from here, the trail actually splits in half. You can go around the town to the east or go straight through the town. So the urban route is the one that goes right through the town, and that one goes right up to the hotel. So 7 miles until we hit the junction, and then 4 miles and we should hit the hotel. Probably get there before noon, so again it'll be one of those situations to see whether we can check in early or not, but we'll all figure it out. And I think that's it. We'll get dinner going, we'll finish videos, and we'll report back in the morning. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.